Hey crew, it's Pid, and I'm back with the weekly tarot for the INFJ for the week of August the 3rd through the 9th. We will be pulling 8 cards from the Divine Feminine, 8 cards from the Divine Masculine in accordance with the 8 human chakras in order to figure out how to best manifest our highest timeline in accordance with Spirit. I've already done a pre-meditation and a pre-shuffle on the cards, but I like to get a couple more just to make sure that everything is exactly where it is meant to be. And before we begin, if you are unfamiliar with me, if it's the first time that you've seen my smiling face, or if you are unfamiliar with what the words ideas, old, self, flexible, and direct mean, I will point you back to the video, Have You Been Doing MBTI Wrong? Because there is a fine chance that you have. Now we will be pulling 8 cards, beginning with from the Divine Feminine, beginning in the base. We have the 10 of Pentacles. In the Sacral, we have the 2 of Cups. In the Solar Plexus, we have the Queen of Cups in reverse. In the Heart, we have the Knight of Pentacles. In the Throat, we have the 3 of Cups. In the third eye, we have the Queen of Swords. And in the Crown, we have the Magician. And rounding out our message from the bottom of the deck and the Divine Feminine, we have the 6 of Wands. This is an extremely positive read so far. Your current situation is looking really well. Next up, we will be pulling 8 cards from the Divine Masculine. The Divine Feminine tells us the current situation. The Divine Masculine tells us what steps we can take to help bring about our highest timeline in accordance with Spirit. And so we will be pulling 8 cards, beginning with the Crown. And what we have here is the 6 of Cups in reverse. In the third eye, we have the 3 of Cups in reverse. In the Throat, we have the High Priestess in reverse. In the Heart, we have the Page of Wands in reverse. In the Solar Plexus, we have the Sun. In the Sacral, we have the Magician in reverse. And in the base, we have the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. And rounding out our message from the Divine Masculine on the bottom of the deck, we have the 6 of Swords. This is an interesting read. Like, all of them were almost like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 upright out of 8. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 8 that are reversed. That is very interesting. All right, so let's dive in and see what we've got going on today. We begin in the base because the base is base existence. Do you have a home? Do you have provision? Do you have a job? Do you have money? This is the area that governs that. This is the area that governs love and wrath. So you may be giving away a little bit too much affection. You may not be receiving the affections like you feel like you deserve. For you in particular, as an INFJ, this area is governed by the SI, which is what has happened in the past and organization. You're going to have a tendency to misremember or to cling to things that have happened in the past and to be a little bit disorganized. What we're looking at today in the base, we've got the 10 of Pentacles. The 10 of Pentacles is a really good card. Right? This is a new path. 10s are about learning the new path. You are on the new path. You have made the choice for the new path. This is learning all of the things that are with it. This is the second path, so this is after the mastery of the mortal coil, right? You have a job, you've been able to work at it consistently, you've reached pretty much the pinnacle of your profession, and now you're like, what do I do? Well, you've made it a choice. You are doing something new, you are reinvesting your gains, and it's probably going to be beneficial. The 10 is all about provision, right? If you look, you have here the husband and wife, and they've got 2 kids over here, and there's their home, and there's the Arch of Triumph. This is an extremely positive card, right? This is provision on a generational level. And what we have clarifying that is a choice about the mortal coil. Now, this is a choice that you are probably in the middle of, right? But this appears that maybe you are about to make the wrong choice, right? This is, when it is standing tall, infinite possibilities. It's about making a choice, right? You realize, hey, I've got to go to work. What am I going to do? This is choosing a job, right? This is choosing provision. This is choosing how you are going to be working on the mortal coil. This is kind of the choices already being made, but maybe not by you. Maybe things are unfolding now that you've already made a choice and it is happening, right? This is This is in the steps you can take, right? And so whenever you get a choice card in the steps you can take, it is, hey, there's a new path. What do you want to do? It's up to you. You have the ability to do things, right? This can be making a choice to let go of the past, because for you, this is what has happened in the past. This can be related to love and wrath. It can be choosing to let go of anger. That's tied to the mortal coil. But this appears to be something about a provisionary path. These two cards together, didn't drop it, good Jill. These two cards together, like, this is generational provision, and this is a choice, but you're not making the choice, right? Maybe you've already made a choice and it is leading to something, but this is you not making a choice to change, more than likely. Let's see if we can get some further clarification as we go along. Next up, we're going to go to the area of the sacral. The sacral is about what physical generation, right? This is, what do you want to physically produce in the world? It can be children. This is tied to lust and lust and chastity, right? You may be giving away too much physical affection. That is definitely a thing for my INFJs. Or you may not be getting enough physical affection. Right? Neither one of those are necessarily a good thing. For you, this is going to be governed by what other people think, and so you are going to have a tendency to misinterpret what other people think. You're going to get it exactly wrong. They're going to tell you this, and you're going to remember it the exact wrong way. The sacral and the trickster, really the same energy, and so it is kind of tricking you into thinking you know what other people think. What you have here is a card of choice, right? But this is an act of choice that you are currently making about an emotional situation, right? The cups are body spirit, where pentacles are body. It's about provision. You had provision in the provision spot. This is what you are wanting to generate in your life, right? What you are actively working towards, actively producing. This is making a choice. And cups are body spirit. That is familial relationships, it is spousal relationships, it is co-worker relationships, and it is your friendships. But it's not about the people themselves, it is about the emotions attached. This is a card of choosing emotions. This is, in your current situation, what you are wanting to do, right? What you are currently doing in your life. You are making a choice about an emotional situation, whether it is getting rid of some emotion, right? And maybe this choice is tied to this choice, right? You're currently in the process of making this one. This one is telling you that you have one, right? Maybe they are tied together. Now, clarifying that with the steps that you can take from the Divine Masculine is the Magician in reverse. The Magician standing tall is in his power. He is the guide. This is the first step on the path, right? First, you realize that you're the fool, and then you realize you can become the Magician. And the Magician has all of the tools. He has infinity over his head. He's got a wand that he is raising as above. His hand is pointing as below. On the altar in front of him, he has all of the magical implements. He has all of the tools. This is a position of authority. This is the teacher, right? But you are the learner. There is something here about you humbling yourself just a little bit. And we'll get to that in the other area, but these two together, right? This is a spiritual choice. And this is you not being the authority. And so you're going to have to realize that somebody else might have an answer that you don't. Now, that is hard for us INFJs. It is. I understand fully. But there can be other people with good information too. You are not the only one. And so being open to someone else, being able to help you with this choice is really what's going to help you. Like, this is you not being in the position of authority while making a choice. Now, this is you not making a choice about your provision, and this is you making a choice while not being the chooser. So that's a little bit of a confusing energy read right there. Let's get some more clarification. Next up, we're going to the solar plexus. And the solar plexus is quite literally what changes your food into fuel. It is tied to your stomach. It is the part that drives the rest. So you eat your provision with your throat, and it gets changed into fuel in your solar plexus. And that's what drives you being able to go to work and earn money. That is what drives you being able to manifest in your life. That is what drives the manifestation. That is where the power comes from. This is the area that deals with gluttony and temperance. So you may be over-consuming some of the things of the mortal coil. You may be under-consuming some of the things of the mortal coil. Neither one of those are particularly good. For you in particular, this area is going to be past feelings and morals. So how has this made me feel in the past, and is this a moral choice? Morals are about what you have decided is correct. Ethics are about what the tribe has decided is correct. And so it doesn't really matter what everybody else thinks is correct in this area. This is about what you believe. What you have here is the Queen of Cups in reverse. And again, cups are all about the spiritual, emotional side of things. The Queen is a gestational energy. She has overcome the challenge, and she is now resting before completing the harvest. This is the step before the end, right? The last little piece where you are watering your crops one last time before you harvest them in a week, or you throwing out your fertilizer one last time to give them a good feeding so they can finish fruiting out. Like, this is not planning, not working hard, not working diligently, just nurturing, taking care of what you have already invested in. Now, for you, this is in the reverse, and so there is some kind of a emotional change that is coming, right? If it was like this is maintain, you're almost to the end. You're almost to the end, but there's a little bit of an emotional challenge, right? You have not quite reached the nurturing. You have not quite overcome the challenge. Not enough that the challenge is still present, or else this would be a night, right? You are meeting the challenge. You're just not quite done with it yet. And it has got to do with emotions. Now, the steps that you can take, right? We've got the Sun. The Sun is like the third best card in the deck. You have the World, which is everything, and you've got the Sun, which is pretty close, right? This is a 19. This is all of the good things. Now, 19s are about change and overcoming the challenge, rising to meet the challenge on the higher emotional path. And so then you have the emotional path here where you have something that you're not nurturing, something that you're not quite seeing right, something that is not quite complete, and this is rising to the challenge. Now, if this was a knight, it would be rising to the challenge. This is a rise to the challenge. You're not quite complete with it, finish it out. And it's going to be wonderful, right? This is all of the good things in life, quite literally. You got the naked baby on the white horse, and naked means look beyond the normal things. You got the Sun, which is the provision of all things. Without the Sun, there is no life. And so this is, again, one of the most positive cards in the deck. And these two together makes me think, right, this is overcoming a challenge on the highest path, the spiritual path. And this is nurturing the spiritual path, but you're not quite nurturing it yet. And so this lets me believe that there may be something left that you need to unlock, right? We're going to get to some more and probably get clarification. Next up, we're going to the heart, and the heart is about what you really want in your life, right? This is the area you envision your future, you work towards it here. This is manifesting it, right? This is you send the energy out and then you work. This is the tie between the as below and the as above. It is the area that governs greed and charity. Greed is attached to the mortal coil. It is clinging a little bit too much to the possessions. The charity is tied to the spiritual coil. It is giving away a little bit too much of your possessions. Neither one are entirely good. For you in particular, this is going to be governed by the NE, which is the heart, or future possibilities and foresight. So what you want to do with your life is help everybody see all of the possibilities. Now, you are really good at choosing the best possibility whenever you're presented with the right options, but you have a tendency to overlook the options, and this is where that resides. You are overlooking the options in your heart because it is right there in the middle and it gets very low reception. You have the Knight of Pentacles. This is rise to the challenge, right? You have rise to the challenge here. You have rise to the challenge here. There is something challenging happening. This is the current situation. You are not quite over this challenge. There is a challenge right here. He is not charging forward. He is fully armored. He is sitting on his horse and he is contemplating the best move. This pentacle in his hand, that is the world. He is looking at the world for all of the best options. He is not taking rash steps. He's not galloping forward, sword raised high into the past. He is looking into the future and contemplating the best steps. And that is how he rises to meet the challenge. And so for you to rise and meet the challenge, it's not an active thing, right? This is allow the challenge to come to you. You're going to meet it. You are rising to meet the challenge, but it's got to come to you. And clarifying what steps that you can take, we have the Page of Wands. Wands is about change. This is spirit, fire, life, light, and logos. Quite literally the personification of change. When it is standing tall, this is about learning and understanding, not learning. Tens are learnings. Pages are about an understanding, right? You have learned all of these things. Now you are understanding them right before you rise to the challenge and put them into practical application. You have to learn it, understand it, and then you can do it. This is the understanding of it. And by understanding generally means that you have to take some time. Now, this is a come not to the understanding, do not spend the time, right? This is a wait, the challenge is coming to you. This is kind of a wait, the understanding will come. In order to have this manifestation happen, there's a little bit of an energy of don't quite step out, right? We have this reversal of the Two of Pentacles. We've got a reversal of the Six of Cups on top of this stack. And when in the middle, we got a reversal as well. And so overall, what we are seeing here, all of these reversals in the actives is don't take steps, right? You are currently on the path. Things are unfolding. There is a choice to be made on an emotional level, not on the physical level, right? Not about the job. It's about the people. And so there is something that you have to open yourself up to in that way. And that's where this understanding is going to come from, right? You're not actively seeking the understanding. This understanding is coming to you in the same way that this challenge is. And we go to the throat. And the throat is the area of communication. This is dealing with pride and humility. So you may be giving away too much credit for your work. You may not be taking enough credit, or you may be taking too much credit for your work. Neither one of those are particularly good. For you in particular, the throat is going to be governed by your current experiences and new things, right? Exploration. You like new things. You're just not really good at getting them. You like doing physical things. You're just not really good at completing them. This is the area that governs that. For you in particular today, we have the Three of Cups. This is about cooperation. This is a spirit of someone, right? Again, cups are about emotions, but it is about the emotional connections, friendships, partnerships. This is a card of partnership. These three women are all celebrating together. They are working in harmony to celebrate. They all have their glasses raised high. They are all working in accordance. This is a cooperation card. And in your current situation, there is cooperation, right? You are making a choice about a spiritual thing, about an emotional thing. The challenge is coming to you, and it's got something to do with other people. Now, what do we have clarifying with steps that you can take? The High Priestess in reverse. And what does that mean? The High Priestess, when she is standing tall, is making the choice of the higher path, right? She is choosing to become the Magician. The Magician is a 1. This is the 2. This is, hey, look, there's a path. This is choosing the path. She is seated in authority, balanced between the two pillars. The two pillars represent the virtues and the vices. Lust is a vice. Chastity is a virtue. You're not meant to have either one of those in completion, but to have a medium in between. Same with love and wrath, same with gluttony and temperance. You're supposed to be balanced, right? You're not supposed to be excluding all of these things. You're not supposed to be partaking of all of these things. This is about that, right? Once you've made the decision to become the Magician, then you have to balance your life. And this is making those choices to balance your life. This is unbalance a little bit. This is relax a little bit. This is you're making the choice, right? But maybe it's not entirely correct. This is about balance and being correct in your actions. This is intimating that maybe you are overcompensating, right? A lot of people think that asceticism is a good thing. That if I go and I spend all of my life in prayer and meditation and I eat nothing but bread and water, that makes me better than you, right? That is a prideful statement. Right? I am better than you because I do not eat meat is prideful. I am better than you because I eat only meat. That is prideful as well. Those are prideful assertions. This appears to be tied to something like that. You are prideful in something about your balance. Now, you may think that you are better than someone else because you are doing a certain thing. Well, you're not. Nobody is better than anybody else. Some of us execute more appropriately things that will bring our highest timelines. But everybody has the ability to make their own choices, and you are not better than anyone else for making a choice for your particular life. Just because you decide I'm not going to eat these things does not make you better than people who are eating those things. Will your health be better? Probably. Can your spiritual life be better? If you're making the appropriate choices within that, right? If you're not residing in pride about your asceticism. And so this card in reverse for me leads me towards that type of energy. Like, you are a little bit prideful in something that you are doing, and you need to relax a little bit in a spirit of cooperation. There is somebody with these emotions that you are misunderstanding, that you are not quite in the spirit of cooperation with, and you need to unbalance a little bit. Maybe they like to drink and you don't, and you're like, no, I don't drink alcohol. Even though you're not an alcoholic, it's not really a problem. You're just making a moral judgment on this spirit that is serving humanity. You should not be consumed by alcohol, but there's nothing wrong with having a drink every now and then. Next up, we're going to be going to the area of the third eye. The third eye is where you envision your future. You put it into play with your sacral. You envision it with your third eye. This is the area that governs diligence and sloth. So are you working hard towards your goal, or are you just expecting them to come to you? For you in particular, your third eye is going to be governed by your logic. And now you're going to get defensive in your third eye slot. It is just one of the things that happen. People don't understand your logic, and that upsets you, right? This is your spot is TI. It is about my personal thoughts, my logic, as opposed to the tribe's rationale. You do things according to your logic. The tribe does it according to their rationale. Rationale is the collective thought. And for you, that is something that you don't even really care about. It's way down in your sacral, right? In the trickster. So you're not even considering other people's thoughts. You are relying on your logic. And if your logic isn't, if you don't have the correct inputs, if you overlook those possibilities, then your logic might be flawed. And if it is flawed, you're going to get mad. You're going to be like, no, I'm right. And trust me, I know that. And so what we have for you today, the current situation is the Queen of Swords. This is gestating an idea. This is nurturing. You have overcome the challenge. Swords are about thoughts and ideas or communications. And so this can be the mastery of a communication, but it's in the third eye, and the third eye is the thought slot. So this is nurturing the thought, spending the time to put the energy into the thought. She is seated on her throne. She is looking forward. The clouds have started to clear. She is seeing clearly for the first time. Only half of the sky is obscured. She can see the upper half. This is a position of good thoughts, right? This is nurture the good thought, and this is your current energy. This is where you currently are. You have a good thought. Now, clarifying with actions that can be taken from the Divine Masculine, we have the Three of Cups in reverse. Like, we have the Three of Cups here in your communication slot, right? That is the spirit of communication and the spirit of cooperation. Now, when it is like this, then maybe you have some resistance to do. Now, this is saying that maybe you are resisting a little bit too much. This is kind of the opposite, and that makes it a little bit harder to read, right? This is the current situation. You are in a spirit of cooperation. You are a little bit prideful about, right? This can be this idea that you don't need cooperation with. You don't need collaboration for this part. You need collaboration for this part. I know, right? But this idea that you have, it's a good one. You are sitting on a great idea. You've got to make a choice about an emotional situation. There's an emotional situation, right? That's what this is. Spirit of cooperation, not cooperating. Maybe you are seeing in your future that you are not working with other people, and that's fine, right? You should never completely isolate yourself, but it's okay to go off by yourself and do things. It does appear that there is something left to learn from someone else, that you need to put yourself in a slightly unbalanced position in order to receive that, if you want to step into the full authorship of your power, right? And so this can be of a Well, no, not really. Like I was going to say, this can be kind of a let someone else take the lead, but not here. Right here, this is kind of a your idea is great. You don't need to let someone else change it. Right now, take into consideration the communications, take into consideration the emotions that someone is communicating to you about it. Maybe relax a little bit in your implementation of it, right? And in the spirit of cooperation, but don't completely change it. Don't alter it for someone else's benefit, right? This is your idea. You are to nurture it. You're not to give it away to someone else. You are to act in a spirit of cooperation and unbalance yourself, right? But that appears to be two completely separate issues. Next up, we're going to go to the crown, and the crown is where you interpret what the divine tells you. It is the area that you feel responsible for. It is tied to hope and despair. So are you hoping beyond hope, or are you choosing depression even though everything is going well? And yes, people do choose depression daily. For you in particular, this area is going to be governed by future feelings and ethics. So how am I going to feel about this? How are everyone else going to feel about this? And what are the ethics of the situation? Now, this is the area of responsibility. So you're going to feel this one heavily. You're going to be like, I am responsible for everyone else feeling good. I am responsible for ensuring that the ethics of the situation are playing out. That is who you are, just naturally. And you have in your current situation full authority. And this is the magician. The magician is walking the path. He is stepping out and becoming the authority. This leads to the world. This is the beginning of the journey. This is quite literally becoming aware of the magical path. And this is where you currently are sitting, right? This is your current energy, becoming aware of the magical path. Now, clarifying that with some actions that can be taken from the Divine Masculine, we have the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is a card of nostalgia when it is standing tall. You have it in the reverse, but this is the overcoming and the growth has happened, right? Like the Queen energy on a lesser level. You have overcome the challenge of the 5, and you are now rising for resting, right? You are nurturing this. You've just overcome this challenge, and now you're resting, and you're going to wait right before the harvest. This is a card of nostalgia to most people. You have the 2 children here, and they're like, you're looking at your childhood, and that can be, it's not necessarily, but this is a good card, right? This is one of the provision cards in the tarot. And so you have the 2 kids here, and they're doing fine. You have a guard back here making sure everyone is safe. The town is perfectly fine. Now, this is not cooperation, right? This is not reminiscing, right? If this is the card of reminiscing, you and your power, you're going to have to not be as reminiscent. I don't really know how else I could really interpret that at the moment. Like, I like to give 2 or 3 different possibilities here, but this does just seem to be like you are realizing that there is this higher path, that there is this magical path that you can step upon. If you would like information, I do have a book, but this is stepping onto that path. This is really fully grabbing your authority. And in order to do so, you're going to have to let go of something in the past. Something that you have an emotional attachment to, you're going to have to let it go. You're going to have to, right, this spirit of not cooperation here, right? That's the consideration. You're in a spirit of cooperation and communication. You are in the idea you need to be standing in your authority. And by letting go of the past, right? There is something that has happened that you are holding on to, and it has made you feel a certain way, right? This is for you, the crown is feelings, how everybody else is going to feel. So this may be you feeling like stepping into this authority is leaving someone behind, or is not in the spirit of the reminiscence, right? Maybe you are really letting go of a key to your past. Now, that's going to bring us to the divine. The divine chakra is not ruled by any of the virtues and vices, but for you, this is the NI, which is the best possibility and guidance. You do this part almost flawlessly as long as you have the correct inputs. You can choose the best option if you know what all the options are. The problem that you have is you tend to overlook some of the options, and therefore when you do make a mistake, it is because you have not the right information. What do you have? We've got the Six of Wands. This is a celebration card, right? This is a victory. You have overcome and you are growing. That is what sixes are, right? The sixes are overcoming and growing. This is you overcoming and growing something about a change, because spirit, fire, life, light, logos, that is wands. And so this is you overcoming a change. You have or are currently overcoming the change, and you are victorious in it. All right. He is riding on his horse. He has the laurel of victory on his staff. He has the laurel of victory on his head. This is a victorious card. This is walking back into the city fully victorious after the battle. And clarifying what steps that you can take is another six. This again is about overcoming. You have overcome the challenge. This is the challenge of the idea or the communication. It is swords. You can see that they are going somewhere new. This is, some people look at this as you're going to be traveling. Not necessarily, but it is a possibility. He is pulling this woman and her child across the ocean. Now, this can be somebody that they hired, but it can be the spouse. You have their past victories or defeats, probably victories. It's a six card. In front of them, they are carrying them with them, but not necessarily the challenges, just the lessons learned from the challenge. This is about thoughts and ideas because it is a swords card. And so this can be you in the mastery of your idea. Now, you have this idea that you are to nurture and to put into play. It's going to lead to all of these good things, right? This is you actually doing it, right? Now, you got it in reverse, right? Wasn't it in I'm gonna pause it and check. Okay, so no, it is not in reverse. You got to stand tall. So this is you beginning a new journey. This is you overcoming the challenge of the thought that you are putting into place. This is you actively going out and doing. Now, these two cards together are definitely telling me that there is a transition that you are currently overcoming, right? You are overcoming a challenge. This challenge has played itself out in your life or is currently playing out in your life, and you are rising to meet it. You are overcoming it. This is a victory card, right? You are going to be victorious in this if you continue with the idea. It really is. You have overcome. Now it's time to nurture. So spend some time in the nurture. Like, take the time to ensure that you are doing things correctly. Make sure that you are, your emotional connections are correct, that you're not altering your idea for someone else, but that you are listening to other considerations. And then you can step into your magicianship, because this really is that, right? We have seen a reiteration over and over again in this. You are overcoming this challenge, right? There is a queen, two sixes here, there's a six there. This is really an overcoming energy. It is currently unfolding in your life. That's going to bring us to the end of the reading. Hopefully I brought a little bit of enlightenment and not too much confusion. If you like what I'm doing over here, let me know down below. Give me a like, a share, a follow. Throw me a comment. Whether you agree or disagree with anything that was said, put it in the box down below. And if it remains respectful, it gets to remain up. If you are a reader with a different interpretation, you are more than welcome to drop that in the box as well. Everyone is welcome as long as they are respectful. If you really like what I'm doing over here, hit me with that super thanks. Consider joining for a membership or pick up a copy of my book where I teach you to do magic responsibly and MBTI the right way. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me, and I am praying for you every single day. Until next time, I love you. God loves you. You are perfect, whole, and complete, just the way that you are. And this has been Pitts Tate. Peace.